We made it all the way up to Taylor County. What do you say we grab some breakfast before exploring? And nothing says breakfast like a couple of chili dogs and a chocolate dip cone from this historic little DQ right here in Grafton. Now you wait here while I go get our day started properly. I wonder if they still have dilly bars. So this Dairy Queen was used in a rather famous illustration of the legendary Grafton Monster. How cool is that? Boy, am I glad it's only a legend. The last thing I'd want to do is run into a Grafton Monster while exploring. Well, adventure calls. Let's get... Ah! Don't smash me! Ah, Grafton Monster! Hey folks, well, as you might have guessed, our next road Chippin destination is none other than Grafton, West Virginia. If you follow the curves of the Tigard Valley right into north-central West Virginia, you'll find Grafton, a rail town with roots that run much deeper than iron and steam. Long before track and depot, this valley was home to indigenous peoples. Archaeology points to the Monongahela culture, late woodland farmers who built circular palisaded villages and cultivated corn, beans, and squash between AD 1200 and 1600 across northern western Virginia and the upper Ohio Valley. Their story fades in the 1600s, likely through disease and displacement, and later the region was used and contested by Shawnee, Lenape, or the Delaware, and Seneca peoples. Europeans explored these hills in the mid-18th century. The broader Tigard Valley takes its name from the early settler David Tigard. Accounts place small settlements in the 1750s and again in the 1770s as the frontier pushed west. River bottoms rich for farming and game drew families, though conflict and isolation made life precarious. What truly made Grafton possible was the railroad. In the 1850s, the Baltimore and Ohio reached across what was then northwestern Virginia, and a companion line, the Northwestern Virginia Railroad, was chartered to link Grafton to Parkersburg on the Ohio. That junction sparked a town. By 1857, the Parkersburg line opened. The B&O leased the latter and absorbed it, and Grafton's yards and shops became a humming rail hub. The town was formally chartered in 1856 and later chose as the Taylor County seat in 1878, reflecting the new power of rails over turnpikes. Then came the Civil War. Because trains moved troops and supplies, the B&O through Grafton was strategic from day one. Skirmishing flared in May 1861 at Fetterman, now part of Grafton, where Private Thornsbury Bailey Brown of the Grafton Guards was killed on May 22nd, widely regarded as the first Union soldier killed by Confederate fire. His grave now lies on the hillside of Grafton National Cemetery. After the war, the federal government chose Grafton as a place to gather the scattered Union dead from across West Virginia. The National Cemetery was established in 1867 and dedicated in 1868. More than 2,000 are interred here, including hundreds of unknowns. Today, Grafton also hosts a second veterans burial ground, the West Virginia National Cemetery, created when the old hillside filled up. Each May, the town's Memorial Day ceremonies, among America's longest running, wind past the cemetery's terraces and white markers. Grafton's golden age rode the rails into the 20th century. A grand Beaux Arts B&O station opened in 1911, and shops and yards kept the town busy. Families filled the neighborhoods above the river, while whistles and couplers were the soundtrack of daily life. But Grafton isn't only about trains and troops. It's also the birthplace of a beloved tradition. On May 10, 1908, inside Andrews Methodist Episcopal Church on East Main Street, Anna Jarvis held the first formal Mother's Day service to honor her mother's lifelong community work. That church is now the International Mother's Day Shrine, a national historic landmark that still tells the story of how a local memorial became a national holiday. The Tigard River shaped the town as much as steel did. To tame its floods and provide water and recreation, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers completed Tigard Dam in 1938, creating Tigard Lake. Its value was proven dramatically during the devastating November 1985 floods, when the dam reduced downstream crests and prevented immense damage along the Monongahela. Today, the lake and the state park are a summertime heartbeat for the region. As railroads changed in the late 20th century, Grafton, like many Appalachian rail towns, weathered economic shifts. Yet the community doubled down on its heritage, preserving cemeteries and churches and working to restore the old depot and hosting parades and festivals that knit the town together. And then there's the legend that puts a playful shiver into any evening drive along the river, the Grafton Monster. Yet another one of West Virginia's legendary cryptids. On the night of June 16, 1964, local journalist Bob Cockrell reported encountering a towering, headless-looking creature with smooth, seal-like skin along Route 119. His article in the Grafton Sentinel set off a flurry of sightings and monster hunts. And the Beast of Grafton joined the state's roster of cryptids. Decades later, the Grafton Monster blubbered into pop culture, even appearing in Fallout 76, giving a new generation a taste of Tyler County lore. So as the images roll by, rails, river, white headstones, and a brick church with a simple sanctuary, remember that Grafton is the sum of all these threads: indigenous homelands, frontier grit, strategic rails, national remembrance, and a homemade holiday that's spread across the world. It's a place where history is not just in the past. It's in a parade that circles every May, in the lake's quiet coves, and yes, in the stories we still whisper after dark. So what do you say, folks? Now that we've learned all about Grafton, how about we see it in 76 and see just how close it matches up? So right across the street from the train station on Main Street, you'll see an old-time B&O caboose, and right in front of it you'll spot a helpful Welcome to Grafton sign, which gives you the location and some basic information for all the major things to see and do while visiting this historic town. Check it out! There's information on the Tigard Lake Dam, or Grafton Dam as we know it in the game. This tells about the B&O station and the Willard Hotel, the most recognizable of the Grafton game location. And here's info on the Civil War monument. So before you head into town to explore, check out this helpful sign to get your bearings and to get some very helpful information. Right now I'm standing right by the train station, and as you can see, it looks very similar to the same location in the game. The main difference is that the trains actually run in the real world, which is a good thing. And no pesky rad toads to ruin your train spotting in the real world. But pretty awesome, huh? If you're a train enthusiast like me, this is a great spot to see some. And here we are at the Grafton train station. In the game, it's on the edge of the town right near the B&O Depot and the Willard Hotel. In the real world, it's also on the edge of town, but on the opposite side. Regardless, it's a pretty close match, as you can see. And here we are at the B&O station and the old Willard Hotel. To me, the most iconic of the Fallout 76 Grafton buildings, and it certainly is in the real world as well. This magnificent turn-of-the-century hotel was once one of the grandest in all of West Virginia, and the station was just as spectacular. These will eventually be restored, but that'll take some time. As you can see, the game designers faithfully recreated the Willard Hotel for 76, but in the game, it's not a building you can enter. Which makes sense, I guess, because you can't go into it in the real world either. Wow, that'll be something when that beautiful building is restored. Now just down Main Street and kind of diagonally across from the B&O station, just as it is in the game, you'll find Andrews Methodist Episcopal Church, or better known as the International Mother's Day Shrine. Now the in-game version is a little more ornate, but it shares the distinctive shape and style of the real-world version admirably. The red brick and arched windows, they're exact matches. The steeples are similar, but as you can see, the in-game version, again, is a little more ornate in design compared to the real-world version. You know, it's funny because it's usually the other way around. But regardless, the church is a really close in-game match. Now here's a fun little location you might recognize. This old set of stairs that's a pedestrian walkway to go from Main Street up the hill to the street above. As you can see, it exists in the game and is in the very same spot. Notice the houses in the background. They match up pretty well to their real-world versions. Just above the train station, you'll find the Grafton Post Office. Now, you might not find any responder vendor bots in here or any roving super mutants, which is okay, but what you will find is another exact in-game match. Check it out! The stone color and the block construction is exact, and the 3 stone archways that make up the main entrance of the post office are a perfect match. Now, the real-world post office is clearly in a lot better shape, but that goes without saying. Now, between some shops on Main Street, you'll find an alley called Toad Hall, which you'll immediately recognize as the main spot where the Scorched like to bash you with their protest signs during the Protest March side quest. In the real world, it's a beloved community meeting place and a favorite spot for residents. And it's got its own little tribute to the Grafton Monster. Let's check it out. Tell us about the Grafton Monster.
Well, it's a local legend, and it's been around for about 60 years now, and everybody knows about it. And I'm just dying for a day that comes back and says hi or something.
So, by the way, is the high school mascot the Grafton Monster?
No, it's a bearcat.
Oh, bearcat. Okay. Well, in the game, it's Grafton Monster. I think a bearcat would be cooler and safer, but that's just me. But anyway, so here we are, the Grafton Monster. And by the way, folks, this isn't just the alley that this is in. Is more than just the Grafton Monster. If you take a look out that way, you're going to immediately recognize this is the alley where the protest march takes place. So if there's any Scorch-wielding protest signs, you're going to find them right here. So anyway, but David, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to meet you. And thank you for welcoming us to Grafton. It's a great little town, and I recommend to the fans, come visit it. Come to this alley, meet David, and meet the Grafton Monster.
Stop in and say hi.
And I don't think it's any coincidence that this place is named Toad Hall, and rad toads seem to congregate in Grafton. The toad that inspired the name of this spot is the charming one from The Wind in the Willows, not these mutant nightmares from our wasteland Grafton. I prefer the Wind in the Willows one myself. Wait, did you see something just then? Well, must be my imagination again. Well, just the same, let's move on, shall we? Our next stop is Grafton High School, and let me tell you, this is one big school. Now, in the real world, it's not overrun with super mutants. But if it were, that wouldn't be a problem, because you know what can kick a super mutant's butt? A bearcat, that's what. And to prove that point, the Lady Bearcats were the 2025 Class AAA Region 1 champions. And in 1984, the Bearcat football team were the state champions. Go Bearcats! Now let's take a look at Grafton High and Fallout 76 and see how it compares. Well, it's a little worse for wear. Well, a lot worse for wear. But that's what happens when inconsiderate super mutants take over. No school spirit whatsoever. Go Bearcats! Across the river from the downtown area, you'll find the West Virginia National Cemetery. This is the cemetery constructed after the conclusion of the Civil War and was America's first national cemetery. It's a beautiful memorial and it should be visited. As you walk along the wall, you'll notice several informative signs that describe the National Cemetery System, as well as the story of the site and its place in American history. You'll also see some beautiful markers and plaques that really help you appreciate and reflect upon the sacrifices made by those laid to rest here now. Now in the game, you won't find a Civil War era cemetery in Grafton, but due east of the town, on the game map, you'll find Philippi Battlefield Cemetery, and that does indeed have a real-world counterpart, but it's not this national cemetery, at least not geographically speaking. There are, however, in-game tie-ins to this site. For instance, notice the walkway that goes back to the Thornberry Bailey Brown Monument marker. He was the first casualty of the Civil War in 1861 as the war started. The walkway in the game is very similar and ends at a similar Civil War monument.
This monument marks the first organized land action of the Civil War on June 3rd, 1861. The Union had planned a pre-dawn assault on the Confederates.
This beautiful national cemetery is at the heart of what Memorial Day stands for, and it all started here in Grafton, West Virginia. Now from the cemetery, if you take Parkview Road up the hill, it leads to Paul E. Malone Road, which follows the Tygart tailwaters right to the Tygart Dam. Coincidence that the road to the dam is named Malone? I think not. But here we are at Grafton's Tygart Dam. In the game, we call it the Grafton Dam, but it's one and the same. As you can see, it looks very similar to the in-game version, less the broken down cars and the truck hanging precariously over the side. Now where we are now is the Tygart Lake State Park Interpretive Center, which features some spectacular views of this amazing dam. The park is the gateway to all kinds of activities you can enjoy here at Tygart Lake State Park year-round. But from up here, you'll get one of the most breathtaking views of the dam, and it's a great place to see it in operation. Now before we head into the Interpretive Center, let's get a look at the dam from downriver and see how close it matches up to its in-game counterpart. Now if you're looking for a great fishing spot and a great view of the dam from below, just take one of the trails down to the river. You can do the same in the game and end up exactly in the same spot. But in the real world, you won't have to sample any water for testing. This is a great place to see the dam in operation as well. And if you want to get a truly up-close look, you can take a road that will get you pretty close, or at least as close as you can get. It looks pretty similar in game, right down to the spillway outlets, which in the real world you can see in operation.
Stacy, I'm Chip. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So tell us about the Tygart Dam.
Well, Tygart Dam was started in 1935 and it was finished in 1938, so it only took 3 years to build. It was a part of the New Deal, trying to get people back to work. It was built with the mission of navigation, so actually any water that comes out of Tygart Dam flows up through Morgantown, West Virginia, and ultimately comes out in Pittsburgh as part of the Mon River, and then down into the Ohio River. So it's actually a pretty important dam to have. We also have, recreation. We provide water supply to all of Taylor County, which is the county that we're in, and 4 other counties around. So it had an expected life of 50 years, but we're like 84 years strong now. So
wow.
Yeah.
So it was built around the same time as the Hoover Dam, actually.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
And it's the largest dam in the Pittsburgh district for the Corps of Engineers.
Now there's no super mutants out there, right?
There's no, not that we know of.
Good.
Not that we know.
Keep it that way.
Yes.
So now tell us about the Interpretive Center. We have these wonderful displays.
So we have box turtles over here. We have a snapping turtle over here that we rescued. And then we have a catfish in one of these tanks that we rescued out of a raft, actually, that was on the lake.
Oh, wow.
So
it was in the raft on the lake?
It was in the raft, which was kind of odd, but he's hiding out down here. So, and then our newest display is our honeybee display, so that we can give people a look at what honeybees do and the internal workings of a hive without them having any fear of being stung. So this just has all the different things that you can find around the lake. There's a park down below, there's a lodge, marina, things like that. So then each of these corresponds with the letter up there, so you can actually see where it's at on the lake.
Well, thank you so much for taking us around. Thank you for
thank you for visiting.
Oh, no, it's our pleasure. So thank you so much
You're
for having
welcome.
us, Stacy.
Thank you.
So have a great day.
All right, you too.
Thank you. So folks, here we are at the Tygart Artisans Guild. But I wanted to start with this gentleman here who's playing a cigar box guitar that Kimberly makes right here in this shop.
The significance of cigar boxes is that across West Virginia and the wider Appalachian region, homemade instruments were born out of necessity. During periods of economic downturn, especially during the Great Depression, people would construct their own stringed instruments using readily available and inexpensive materials such as discarded wooden cigar boxes. An art form that Kimberly Byers of the Tigard Artisans Guild has revived and mastered.
And then handcraft everything. She makes the neck, she frets it, makes the head. This one is electrified. She has a little transducer in there so you can plug this into an amplifier.
And that is actually an electric guitar then.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
So it's really something.
Oh, and in case you're wondering, this is indeed the inspiration for the ukulele in Fallout 76.
So, I mean, it frets so true.
Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed your visit to wonderful Grafton, West Virginia, a beautiful, vibrant, and historic town nestled in the heart of the Tigard Valley. Whether you're a railroad buff, an artisan, a Civil War historian, or a cryptid hunter, Grafton has something for you. You can see all of the Fallout 76 locations from the game, shop, dine, visit an amazing park with an awesome dam, and even seek out a Grafton Monster. Whatever it is, you'll find it in Grafton. Go Bearcats!